Hello, everyone. My name is Drew with the Knights of Nostalgia gaming page / YouTube podcastery, whatever you want to call it. Uh, and my associate here.
Camera. Ben.
Oh.
Ben of the Beer Thrillers.
What's
I
that?
have a site and a thing.
It's a blog. I'll put it in the description.
Just put it in that goobly.
Well, tell us, what do the Beer Thrillers do on the average day?
We thrill the beer. We
Okay.
just thrill it. We sit around and we scare it.
Do you critique beer as harshly as Star Wars?
I wish every Star Wars was like my beer.
Oh. Crisp, cool, collected,
Not sucky.
nutty, frothy, foamy,
Roasty. No,
hoppy.
Just wish Star Wars got me as intoxicated as my adult beverage.
Are we just gonna hate watch this thing, or are we? Gonna...
We went into episode 1 and 2 on full with good faith. We went into it with good faith. We did.
Pretty well, I had to cut some stuff here and there because copyright. And
you kept gushing over it.
I thought that was embarrassing.
And you kept talking about how much you love Rian Johnson, and it was sad.
But I do want to say, at the end of the day, I know we said we thought the episodes were okay, but I think the longer that's been sitting with me, I think they got worse in my brain.
Well, when I rewatched them sober...
I didn't rewatch them.
Okay, I rewatched them sober, and I am ashamed to admit any happiness.
So it got worse for you too.
Yeah, I don't think episode 1 is horrible in the sense that it's like absolute bad TV.
It's not piss like
right.
Mando season 3.
There's nothing really great or good about it though. Like the writing's not good. Characters are like Ahsoka's like.
It's wet blanket the show.
Yeah.
I think is.
Well, like Ahsoka is basically like they wanted the same characters from Rebels. They wanted their history, their backstory, who they were. They wanted to use them for interactions for the purpose of the show, but they didn't want them to really have the same personality that they had in the original show, because we can't make Ahsoka the same way. So let's just make her stoic and bland.
Well, I've heard some defenses too, because I think it's a valid criticism that a lot of these characters feel very wooden, stoic, bland, without emotion. A lot of people are fans of this sort of thing, or the Disney Star Wars, are sort of saying that it's because they've gone through so much, and their war. The war is just it's a testament to PTSD, if you will.
Well, that is that's kind of what I like to say, like why they wanted these characters, because they then can do that. They can say it's those characters, like. Because, like, if they made the same show, like, this could be, say, Jim Brown, the Jedi detective, it wouldn't have the same impact as saying it's Ahsoka. Even though, for all intents and purposes, Jim Brown's going to act the same way as Ahsoka. Jim Brown doesn't have the name association, doesn't have the backstory, doesn't have the history as Ahsoka. But if you make him act the same way, it's pointless. Like... I understand the idea that there's character, like in real life and stuff, like character arcs, people arcs, like you go through life and you change, you evolve, you mutate, you dismember, you member, you multiply, you divide, whatever, you change, and like life events change you. Like, all right, I had a divorce, I had bankruptcy, I lost a limb at sea, I was attacked by a dragon, I was molested by Michael Jackson, whatever. These things can happen and change you. But then you have to show that. And you have to show it relatively well when you do it in a fictional sense. Like, Ahsoka changing off screen is not good writing then. Like, you can't just have, like, the character be this way in the previous show and then, like, all right, we're going to make show B, like, it's 40 years later, and it's still Ahsoka, but it's, like, a completely different character. And you're like, well, in 40 years she changed. Like, that's not how you do it.
This is Last Jedi all over again with Luke Skywalker. He's like the opposite of what Luke was when we saw him at the end of Jedi. And once again, the same thing was defended. Like, what are you saying? People can't change? I'm like, yeah, but with age usually comes some wisdom, and you don't become a horrible monster who tries to murder your nephew in your sleep.
And even if you do want to show change, that's good. Like, you can show character growth and change.
Except they didn't.
But then actually show it.
It was like a 30-second flashback that made no sense.
But the flashback doesn't actually show character growth or change. It just shows him like suddenly realizing, oh, Ben might be evil.
Let's cut this fucker's head off right now.
Yeah, like, and his first thought isn't, all right, maybe I put him in restraints and do something about it. No, his thought is lightsaber brain.
But Ben, he didn't do it. He didn't act. He wasn't. He was just had a moment of weakness, and it was a misunderstanding because it was unfortunate. But Kylo woke up at the wrong possible time.
That's why you always sedate your nephews before you do things to them in their sleep.
So yeah, I mean, I would say for me a fairly unimpressive episodes 1 and 2, and this is coming from somebody who didn't watch Rebels. Somewhat a little lost. I know you caught me up with a couple things.
That's another thing that right out the gate, I think is going to be an ultimate detriment to the show. If they wanted to, we're now getting to episode 3. We haven't seen it yet, but by episode 1 and 2, they didn't really do a good job of catching you up or like giving you ideas or information about the past too much.
Right.
You get like that scene with Sabine, like not wanting to be at the celebration, and you get the idea that this was a celebration to talk about how great Ezra was and like how the Lothal liberate itself from the Empire. That doesn't really tell you much. And it also is weird that, like, if Sabine didn't want to be at that celebration, why is she, like, hanging out on the same planet and, like, in the same city anyway?
Well, I don't know. Well, Ben, are you ready to watch episode 3 of Ahsoka? Ahsoka.
What was the name of the episode?
Oh, wait. Prediction. Is Thrawn showing up?
No.
Not yet?
No.
They made such a big deal about Thrawn being in the show. We're almost halfway through it.
Episode 3, no, half.
So
would
we're
be
only gonna, like,
4,
are we only,
4 or 5.
well, I was gonna say almost. This would be the 3rd episode. If you're saying Thrawn doesn't show up in the 3rd, that means
all right.
Thrawn shows up in what episode? Do you think? 7?
I want to say 8.
He's only gonna show up in the final episode.
Well, remember this is Okay. They want this to be like a 2 to 3 season show. Mando's also going to have another season or 2, and there's going to be that Skeleton Crew show, and then it's going to tie in with a movie where Thrawn is the main villain of that movie.
Is Skeleton Crew going to happen during all this stuff too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So my honest theory is that like Thrawn is only like last episode, like I don't want to say last scene, like that feels like a little bit too easy. Like I want to say midway through the final episode, they're like, all right, Thrawn, like he might. Okay. I will backtrack a little bit and say he might show up in like a hologram or something. But I mean, as a main presence on screen.
Like Moff Gideon only shows up in the last 2 episodes of each season, right?
Right.
Like that's when he
But
does
like
stuff.
there is like a scene where he like talks to somebody like on like episode 3. But like I want to say in this, Thrawn doesn't actually as a main presence show up to episode 8.
Okay. I don't know if he's going to show up. I think he's going to do stuff by episode 5. I would say. I don't know if we might see a glimpse of him in this episode, but like I'm going to say he'll at least become a presence in the show by episode 5. Well, let's start the show and see how Hera and Sabine and Ahsoka are going to deal with. I'm expecting Sabine to be fully recovered at this point from her lightsaber stabbing.
Oh yeah, that's going to be.
She'll be on that swoop doing things and tricks again.
I did see like a meme joke thing though online. Not to before we get into it though, where they showed her like wound, and then showed like the old car cigarette like lighters.
Oh, the little burn.
And it like looks like someone would have taken it and like, and that's it.
Yeah. Does Disney have the balls to actually have a female character get fucking horribly maimed?
No.
Like have an arm sliced off?
Nope.
Has that happened?
No, because twofold reason.
Because it's like Sabine got stabbed, yes, but I guarantee she's back to full power.
And
this
that's
already.
a spot that's always hidden by clothing. You'll never see it again.
Yeah, like they don't want to have to do a prosthetic thing to make it too complicated.
2 rules, that's but one of the 2 reasons I have. One is prosthetics is a pain in the ass for like on a continuous basis.
Yeah.
Same as even scars. Like they did it with Kylo.
The makeup people have to actually work.
It's too hard, especially on a show like a low like. Not that these are low budget, but they're low budget in the sense that like this should be a movie. Just give us like an hour and a half, 2 hour movie, cut off all the fat, the trimming.
Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan should have been
Right.
movies. But...
And give us a high budget movie, and they all would be better. But instead, Disney wants to give us low budget shows and make them 8 weeks and weekly, so you have to be subscribed for like 2 to 3 months.
That's the strat.
But the second reason is, so reason number 1 is makeup, prosthetics, whatever. Reason number 2 is because Disney knows there's way too much of an amputee fetish out there in the world.
And they don't want to contribute.
Yeah, right. They don't want immediately the like Rule 45 or whatever it is, where like everything's gonna have a porn parody of it.
Yeah.
And they don't want there to be some Ahsoka out there with one arm and half of
I
a
have to look for this as soon as
and
we're
like
done recording.
half of the Leku tentacle thing that I don't know what the term is for her species, but like half of that. Like, see, like that would be actually kind of a cool thing in a weird way, like them cutting off like part of her like head tentacle thing.
Oh, yeah, like she gets actual fucked up.
Or like Hera, like loses one of the Lekus.
Yeah, see, Twilight with like half of a tentacle. That would be good for like establishing this because we already know what Twilight should look like, and just seeing that would be like, oh, this is immediately without saying words. This Twilight has seen better days.
Right, like, and they could make as a bad guy or even a good guy that just like
an Abyssin with no eye.
Or better yet,
I got him.
Or better yet, the Abyssin went like robot, like heavy, like almost like one of those characters in like the stupid teenagers from Book of Boba Fett that had like the robot arms. So it's an Abyssin now with two eyes.
Those weren't really robot limbs.
Right.
They were just little rubber things they put on.
But what I'm saying is, it's an Abyssin with 2 eyes, and he like lords it over all the other Abyssins.
It's like Futurama, where Leo has her big eye, and then they just put a little eye with a googly eye in there next to it.
And he takes like a marker and draws
a people there. All right, Ben. Well, I'm ready if you're ready.
One last final question.
Okay, final thought.
Do we see the space whales?
I actually can't answer this because I don't really know the context of why they exist. I've just seen the clip of Ezra and
that's right, because you haven't seen
Thrawn
Rebels.
Getting zipped away in a Star Destroyer.
You haven't seen Rebels, but you saw the final scene of Rebels, right?
I guess was that the final scene of Rebels?
Yeah.
Just them getting zipped away.
Where Thrawn gets the tentacle.
Why do the whales have light speed?
Apparently, that's their species. I don't remember enough about it either.
Okay.
But apparently, their species is they live in space, like in the outer space.
Okay.
Or in the.
So does the space slug.
Yeah.
It lives in space. Does it go light speed?
Maybe.
Minox, I think, also can live in space,
Are space
right?
slugs just the space whales, maybe?
Ooh, that'd be neat.
Do we just like... There's someone...
In Empire, it's just a hand puppet. Comes up and tries to grab the little thing.
All right. Let's watch your favorite show.
Let's start the show.
We put the D back in Disney.
They put the D in something.
Sabine.
Oh, good, we get a recap. I was worried we wouldn't know what happened previously on the show. We could just binged 5 seconds ago. You know how dumb this stuff is, though? Like, the recap things is I know a lot of people just wait till a show's completely done and binges it. Every episode, then you have to, like, press to, like, go forward, press to go forward, you know.
Yeah.
Stop that shit.
See, if he wouldn't have done that, they would have just left.
But then we wouldn't have had the cool scene.
There wouldn't be the scene on the thing.
Right.
But see,
that was another dumb scene. Is when he throws the blade, and like she just moves to the side.
People need to learn. Disney specifically with Marvel and Star Wars things, they really, really need to learn that an action scene should be very rewarding on a narrative level.
Right.
It shouldn't just be there because you need an action scene to happen, because otherwise people are going to be bored. You need it to actually have full stakes.
Right.
And like you need to feel like there's going to be an actual tension. When I'm watching this and all of a sudden there's just action happening and it's only happening because they want action right there.
Yeah.
I just feel nothing inside. Like I'm just dead.
Well, it's also like, have you seen Secret Invasion?
No. I feel like I
listened to. You took that as like offense.
I listened to enough podcasts to know that I don't want to watch
like
that.
I just muttered in like the worst vulgarities about your mother. You took that in the same, like on the same level.
I
How
can't even
dare
believe
you
I'm
say?
watching this, to be honest. What is that? Is that Grievous?
That's how you.
It looked like Grievous for a second.
It's the Doctor Who guy that we mixed up.
Oh, with Daemon Targaryen. Yeah. Okay, well, at least we're getting training.
Yeah?
But wait, she's literally back on her feet.
Yep.
I'm expecting Sabine to be fully recovered at this point from her lightsaber stabbing. Was there a time skip? Or is this the next day?
It was 12 hours later.
It's 12 hours later.
That's kind of cool. Like, it's like, what's the fruit game? On the old, like, Wii and stuff, and, like, where, like, you had to chop the fruit.
Okay.
Fruit Ninja or Fruit Samurai.
Yeah.
That's, like, what she was doing. I kind of like that his little, like, holographic, like, lightsaber pole things kept track of where she cut, and she was supposed to cut certain lines, and she didn't.
Like, she's... My understanding is, I looked it up, she's not force sensitive at all, but she wants to be.
Yeah. And I guess the route is that anyone can be a Jedi now. That's like the new Star Wars.
Did you even watch The Last Jedi, bro?
Well, that's
that was
what I
the
mean.
theme.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they're just building off of that.
All roads lead to Jake Skywalker. Don't you ever fucking forget that. There's that pool noodle.
And then they get a. All right, now let us draw these squiggly lines on your face.
Can she control them? I say it'd be kind of neat if they were constantly like sort of wiggling.
Like wiggling.
Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe
when she's excited.
Maybe that'd be too creepy.
When she's excited, they point out.
Yeah, like it's like. See, like they're kind of floppy. Like her arm just brushed against one and it went. Bleh.
Do you think like male Togrudos suck on the ends of them? Like that's their way of
they go up like Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Ben, I don't care what you say. The Force is female, and anybody that thinks otherwise can suck my fat hog. She's wearing a fencing mask.
We've seen this scene before, Drew. It's been in Star
Oh,
Wars.
no. They're not going to pull out the little ball, are they? They're not just... You bastards, you're just stealing shit from better movies. Don't do it. Don't put the little ball thing out. No, there's no ball thingy. You know what was a cool training scene is in Batman Begins, when he's training to be, like, with the League of Shadows.
Yeah.
And they do that, like, wall of ninjas, where he's walking around and trying to find Liam Neeson when all the people are, like...
All right, firstly, I know Ahsoka's not moving like very heavy-footed, but you're telling me you wouldn't even be able to sense any of where she's at right now?
Well, I would say, if you're not going by sight, then you have to be able to hear. If you can't hear either, then you definitely don't know.
But like, Ahsoka even started this training thing talking, and like you would be able to at least pick up like her general movement. She's not moving much. She's obviously moving in circle lines. Yeah. Why would you, like, you got tapped on the right. Why would you do a spin move to your left? The droid is looking at her like she's retarded.
Well, I think we're showing that she has actual physical skills, but she just doesn't have the balance to... So, okay, wait. The only reason we're having this, the only fucking possible reason we're having this is she's going to have to fight blind at some point later on, right?
The Jedi dude from Rebels went blind.
Like, at some point, she's going to have to do something in the dark.
Think it'll be this episode or later?
This episode, because my reasoning is they don't give audience enough credit, and so they would do it like in this episode.
I mean, if they would do it on a later episode, they'll show it in the recap that episode.
That I was gonna say if we definitely see this in a recap. Game of Thrones did this a lot too.
Yeah.
Where if a weird scene that was never brought up before gets brought up in a recap, somehow there's a payoff.
Yeah, yeah. Because they all know we're dumb.
Yeah. They're going to forget about this scene.
Yeah.
You better remind them.
So what do you think time to fly means?
They're going to throw clocks out a window.
A-Wings, okay.
I like A-Wings. Oh, they're blue,
yeah.
though. Weren't the
Blue Squadron.
Weren't the Jetter... Wasn't the...
Endor was Green Squadron was the A-Wings, I think.
Were they actually green, though? I thought they were red.
I think they just had green paint on them.
Maybe.
The Chancellor?
Oh, that's one of, is that kin to Admiral Akbar?
Yep. That's his second sister.
That's his sister, Krabby McCrabgoo.
Yeah. Mon Mothma is like a cuck. She's a cuck to the Senate.
I will say, like, the soldier costume with the Sudafed there, hers is like, she's just going for that World War I look.
Yeah.
But with how bright the lighting is, the costumes do, like, now that I'm seeing them, like, are pretty bad. Like the regular guard guy, it looks like straight out of like Halloween.
Right.
Like Spirit Halloween.
Well, and like that dude just.
Yeah, it's just blank belt, blank
Yeah.
brown vest. That was,
The New Republic doesn't have a lot of money. All right, so he's just a douche. Okay, cool. You established that he's a douche. Everyone would look at him like, okay, you're Senator Douche. All right, why do we listen to you?
so presumably Thrawn is just on his own in like an empty Star Destroyer with Ezra.
I guess. I mean,
Probably dead or liquefied because you can't go light speed in a ship with no windows. But
you saw the clip, right?
I saw the clip, yeah. Like there's tentacles in there and then they all zip away.
Yeah.
So where is the remnants of the Empire right now? Are they just sort of scattered?
I mean, Gideon's out there on Mandalore, I guess, at this point. Because I think this is happening congruent with the final season of Mando.
Okay, so
Well,
that's
not the final season, but like season 3 of Mando.
Okay, and in that one they showed us that there was a bunch of commanders doing things.
Yeah.
There was even is it Hux's father?
Yes.
Or someone?
From like the sequel trilogy Hux, yeah.
So, see, I'm telling you, they're definitely gonna try and branch to the First Order at some point in these shows.
Oh, yeah, this is all ultimately leading to that.
Like, Snoke's gonna show up at some point, right?
Yeah.
When will Snoke show up?
Hey, that's her kid.
That's her kid?
Yep, because the Jedi she hooked up with was a human.
And so you just had a human baby? That's not how it works.
He's got green
He's gonna grow up to become the Joker. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can't just go have sex with another species and a human pops out.
Oh, you can't, can you? Let me show you my son, Sheeple.
Like, yeah, a human pops out of a cat. And it's 99% human, except it's got little cat ears instead of human ears.
But like, my favorite part was...
His hair's just naturally green.
My favorite part was some writer, someone making decisions, someone behind the scenes went, her skin is green. We want him to be human, though. But we gotta make him like her. Give him green hair, it'll be great.
Fucking lazy, just make give him like alien green skin at the very least. Like,
right?
make him humanoid, maybe he didn't get the tentacles.
Yeah.
But he has green skin. The green hair just reeks of laziness.
I mean, firstly...
Like, the kid didn't want to do it. Like,
the idea that, like, there is interspecies breeding is like a Pandora's box type of a thing. Like, once you go down that rabbit hole...
Anything humanoid...
Right.
Like...
And I think they went with the idea that, like,
could
okay...
Luke and Ahsoka have a baby?
Right.
I mean, why not?
They went...
Did you see that?
They went down the road of Twi'lek, human, or similar enough. The only difference is tentacles and green skin, right? All right, let them fuck. Sure, why not?
So I have a question, Ben. Why are there even cockpits when robots just basically do all the piloting?
Why not?
Like, wouldn't your ship just be able to pilot itself at that point? 'Cause it's just a machine piloting it.
This is also 40 years after, like, Episode 1, where in Episode 1 they actually just had droids pilot.
You mean the Naboo starfighters?
Well, no, the clone battle droids. They had their own ships.
They had ships. The battle droids were piloting.
Yeah.
So you get to the point where it's a machine piloting the ship. So why can't you just build the machine into the ship to fly itself then? Like it clearly, obviously, there's like another seat there in case a human pilot or whatever wants to take over.
Right.
I'm watching this robot pilot the ship, and I'm just like, this is like superfluous.
Yeah.
It's a machine flying another machine.
Well, and they're in hyperspace anyway. What's it? Oh, is it gonna move?
No, my research said that she's not force sensitive.
All right, you're gonna tell me COVID's not real too with your research?
Well, in the Rebels show, did she like train and nothing happens, or?
I don't think they did any training in Rebels.
Oh.
Oh, she squinted. Come on.
Look how good that acting was. She's like closing an eye.
Yeah.
She's like remember when, like, as a 6-year-old, you like pretending like you have powers?
Oh,
that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
But she's a grown adult.
When I was a kid, I pretend like I had force powers, and I pretend like I was Spider-Man.
Oh, did you ever like when you're going through the Walmart and the automatic? Did you ever like wave your hands like as the doors open?
Yep.
I still do that.
Yeah. Or I'll say "Open Sesame" out loud.
Open sesame.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, what's happening?
They came out of hyperspeed ships.
What is that? That ship is hideous. Is that the Darth Sith apprentice ship? That bright yellow thing?
Yeah.
Sith Apprentice needs like a black ship, like with red stripes or something. This is a little reminiscent of A New Hope.
Yeah.
A little bit, the quad laser cannon fight.
The ship is still moving in a straight line, and she's like, keep it steady down there. Like, well, we're also getting shot because we're sitting ducks.
If I was a pilot, I would prefer to wear something that I could see out of.
Yeah, I mean, especially, like,
Now that helmet looked okay. That other one was just like a black thing with
all right,
metal in front of it.
you killed one. And that one's like directly be like, this is another thing. You're one ship against like what, 4?
They're forming up.
Should they be? Where's Ray Stevenson at? Why is it just
Yeah.
her?
Maybe he's like, all right, you.
Is he back at that bar again, eating the guacamole loaded nacho platter? 99-cent margaritas? Oh, they told her to look scared.
Right.
I'm gonna pause that clip because that was a funny ass fucking face that woman made. She went.
All right, so they're trying to get to that like hyperdrive ring thing.
Which reminds me of Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. I think that's the point. Like, but it's just like massive now.
It's so fucking big.
Look,
What's her name again? Morgan L. Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Morgan
the third?
Homestead. Yeah, something British.
She's
Because
like a-
only British are allowed to be evil.
The old debutante.
It's Pride and Prejudice. It's Jane Austen. We need to Brit this up a bit. Was that supposed to show them taking them like point blank or hitting their shields or something? Like,
Oh wait, I want to see the little green bar go to red,
right?
like a video game.
Like, but like, if the lasers are hitting them, it's not doing any real damage. But like, the lasers are stopping right at their ship. If they're lasers and miss them, the lasers would continue on exponentially into the future. Like,
well,
why would they be turning into like little gas?
The shields are just what's happening? They don't have shields right now, right?
They're hitting them and turning into like little.
They're turning into smoke puffs.
Yeah, like
So
that.
that has to be the shields, right?
I would guess, but they've never shown gas like cloud puffs or smoke puffs before.
Smoke puffs from the lasers in space.
I don't understand that.
Remember, J.J. Abrams said Star Wars isn't a science lesson,
Well, and that's fine to a degree.
but
Like,
it's also apparently not a story lesson.
right.
I like the robots that look like bugs, like Forlome.
I would make all my bugs look that way.
I would have a droid army with the bug heads.
Yeah, and make them have like that weird. Okay, we're getting like.
Is Forlome the first droid in the series that has the bug head?
No, the A New Hope has that ISB droid.
5D6 RE7.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing like the wounded ship in space thing.
Nobody's gonna know what the fuck we're talking about.
All right, so there's other ships are still out there. They're fully
She is
disabled.
full face acting.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at her eyes. Just like.
Wait, they're
The
fully.
director's like, all right, bug them out now.
They're fully disabled. They should.
They are literally fish in a barrel at this point, right? Wait, what's happening? Wait, Ben, what's happening? Ben, what's? Hold it, wait, pause it. What the?
I don't have the pause button.
Wait a minute, what's happening right now? Why is
Her spacesuit.
Oh, she's got a
covers her-
suit on.
Her spacesuit covers her.
she has
tentacles.
a suit that covers up her little tentacle things? That's great.
She knew that at some day she would. Wait, why are they?
No.
How?
No.
How are you doing cartwheels in space?
There's no gravity. You know that is. They're not even in like an atmosphere.
Right.
They're in space.
And why are they shooting? Why aren't they blowing the ship up?
Why?
Oh my God! No!
If she can one-shot all of these starfighters in their silly space, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Oh shit! We're gonna get the Leia scene.
Oh my god. Why doesn't she just use the Force to...
Like Leia.
Yeah. Well, no, just to...
And apparently all she needs to do is get boots on that ship and then...
And now it's gravity to it?
Oh, and good thing that these bolts...
Whoa.
Captain!
Wait a minute.
We are rewinding this, aren't we?
Wait, I'm gonna...
This is the first time we're doing any rewind.
We have to frame by frame this. We have to EFAP this bitch.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, it's all... I mean, it's all stupid.
Right.
It's all really, really stupid. Okay, wait. I want to see these lasers.
They are hitting that ship.
They're hitting
dead
that
on.
ship point blank with no shield.
Not even a scratch.
And it's not even scratching it. So that leads to the question of what do the lasers do then? Well, you don't even need shield. If the lasers are doing nothing.
Right. It's a minor irritation.
It's not even, it's just making sparks.
Yeah.
Okay, look. They just got hit 6 times.
Yeah, and nothing.
6 times in the blink of an eye, and it didn't leave so much as a fucking mark. This is so shit. The stakes are out. This is once again action for the sake of action.
Well, this is also plot armor times 1,000 at this point.
But like I said, there are no stakes. We know,
Right.
like as soon as Ahsoka got out and turned her lightsabers on in that silly suit, I was like, oh, they're gonna be just fine because she's gonna handle this.
This is why I take all of these.
That was the.
I'm gonna need all of these.
This
just
might
to
be
watch.
okay. This might be worse than the droid being left behind, plot-wise. Well, the droid being left
But see, you
behind
know
was
what? I
bad.
bet you-
This is worse, I
But
think.
here's the thing about this. This is like that
I need
weird.
another one.
This is that weird action scene where everyone just kind of ignores it and moves on, but is detrimental in the long run.
Well, once again, it's just a pointless act because they're just gonna get away, right?
Yeah.
Like it's.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So it
It's-
didn't even need to happen.
Right.
It was
It's pointless in the long run,
filler, pointless
and it's
action.
detrimental.
The robot scene has to happen because otherwise the good people have
Right.
no leads then.
So
So maybe the robot scene's worse in that
Right.
regard.
So in that aspect, I say the robot scene is worse.
Okay, so
because it's just lazy bad writing. This is lazy bad writing in the sense that we just want to make our idiot fans enjoy pew pew lasers.
Like those lasers mean nothing.
Right.
They got hit 6 times.
This is just going to the common denominator of making people happy. They get to see lightsabers and pew pews in space.
Somebody.
Oh fuck! It's the whales.
What the? Where do they come from and why?
They're in the planet.
They're in the planet?
On the planet.
Why are they on the planet?
I don't know. I guess they live on planets.
Aren't they worried that it'll go light speed, like right into them?
Nope. Apparently they're not going to go into.
Are they not concerned that they'll just zip into them at any point? I don't
The-
know. I don't know.
I guarantee the whales are gonna. All right, the only ones left are the Inquisitor and the other guy.
Is that
her?
an Inquisitor? He's like a knight from the Round Table.
I don't know. How does this ship that was like immobile 5 seconds ago?
If I was piloting that ship, I'd be like, wait a minute, guys. There's no reason we need to do evasive maneuvers because those lasers do nothing to us.
This thing is so maneuverable.
Oh,
it is like,
God.
what has happened in this episode? Tell me why this episode had to happen.
Well, I don't even know why the whales happened. Was that set up at all, or
Oh, good. He's back alive at just the right moment.
why did the whales just come out of nowhere on that planet?
Yeah, pretty much.
Were they heading to them specifically, or did they just show up?
They were going to this planet
Why?
because this is where the map.
Said to go?
Yeah.
And that's where the whales showed up?
Yeah.
What happened to the blonde woman and where is her?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're just so happened to be where they were flying. A hole.
So they
in
lost him,
Yeah.
even though they landed very slowly into that. Oh, see, yeah, that's stupid.
See, there's only one gap in the tree line. Where else would they be?
Well, I thought they were right behind them. That's why I was
Well,
confused.
that's part of it all. You're flying behind them. You don't.
I
see...
thought you meant you just had a problem with the fact that there was a place for them to land.
No, well, I mean that's what part of the writing of it is. You know what I mean? There's one single place to land, and they don't. Oh well, I wonder where they went.
Well, let's compare this to the most comparable scene: Han trying to outmaneuver the TIEs in the asteroid field,
Okay.
where it's actually a pretty thrilling chase scene, and Han manages to lose all of the TIE fighters momentarily, where he then dives into the
right.
asteroid.
Not to cut you off now, but they waited all of like 10 seconds and went full depowered. They let them do one flyby, and then they repowered everything back up.
Yeah, that's bad. Because you'd sit down there for like hours, right, before you'd even
You'd
attempt
assume that like one flyover is not all they're gonna do. There he is. See, he's right there.
Hey, there he is. He's in this episode for all 5 seconds, I bet.
Yeah.
So far, the only character with some presence. He's stoic, just like the rest of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like the old man Sith dark side user has like a right to be stoic.
Well, with like the silver fox look to him.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's that like grandpa, you know, that's kind of
the
hip
20
and cool, but
The 24-year-old like plucky girl probably shouldn't
Yeah.
be stoic. I don't know.
and that was it.
So he just said, "All right, let's get this thing going."
Now, so basically, probably next week's episode will be just them hunting them. So we're still not progressing the plot, really.
Man, you're right. Maybe I thought we were gonna get something with Thrawn here. We got nothing.
This entire episode could
have been cut. This whole episode could have been cut.
Well,
I bet.
it could have been
grand
just
scheme of
tacked.
things.
It could have been just tacked onto the previous episode. Last week's episode was only 44 minutes, right? Minus.
If you got rid of that action scene on the docking bay
Right.
entirely and just went straight into the big chase scene at the end and made that the climax, you'd basically have this thing. Because how important was all that training bit with her swinging the wooden sword around?
I
'Cause
mean,
that went on for like ever.
It gave a little character development, I guess, but not much. But it also gave you character development because none of them had any character to begin with. So, like,
I'm trying to
you
think
know,
of
a foot of character growth is better than 0. So, in that aspect, there was character growth.
what you do. I mean, I guess the problem is like I'm going it through this because I don't have much to go back on. So for me, these are all new characters.
Right.
So I'm thinking like, oh, like in the first episode, you need to get Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hera like all together on this little adventure, and that's when you start setting
Yeah.
up these exposition scenes and whatnot. But I guess the show does presume you've already seen all this stuff before. So
That's it. So Star Wars is in a weird way. Like, they want to do like the Marvel Avengers idea of like, here's all the different movies, and then it ties together to make Avengers, right?
Well, okay, so I have a question for you. So far, I think they're failing.
Right. Oh, that's right.
But do you think they could do that, and it could be good if done in the hands
Well,
correctly?
there would be.
Or is Star Wars just too?
Well, this is an uphill battle, firstly, because where Marvel did it in the initial, like, first stage thing, like when they first did it, you had established characters and established movies that people liked each movie. And it was just movies.
Right.
So an hour and a half here and there, and some of them you could kind of skip. Or at least, like, at worst cases, you read a Wikipedia page for one movie. They're relying on you to remember the Clone Wars show. They're relying on you to remember the Rebels show. Parts of Mando, parts of Book of Boba Fett, because Ahsoka's in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
She's in Mando.
Well, and one could argue that Phase 4 in Marvel has had the same problems where it's gotten to the point where it's like Doctor Strange 2 or Doctor Strange 2, you have to see WandaVision.
Right.
You want
So you're having to watch some streaming service show to see a movie.
You want this, what's the new show, like Secret War to make sense? Well, then I bet you...
The Secret Invasion?
You want
Yeah.
Secret Invasion to make sense? You better damn well rewatch Captain Marvel.
Right.
And, is it Falcon Winter Soldier or...
Yeah.
There's almost like... It's almost like they're giving you homework.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
not in a good way.
So like in this, like for this one, it's like if you back out to like the Disney home screen, and like go to the Star Wars section.
Okay.
Now watch. Go like okay, you have your originals series.
Oh,
like,
good
no-
movies.
Right.
Look at all... I would even take that.
Right.
And I'm ashamed to say that. But
Here, like go down. Now look, see right here. Look, go down one more. Ahsoka Tano essential episodes.
Oh, from the Clone Wars.
And I think then it'll jump. Like if you go slide down, probably it'll get to
they're
Rebels.
basically saying like, if
Here's-
you want help,
Right. If you want to watch,
here's the Cliff Notes.
right.
Basically.
Like if you want to watch the new show we made, watch these 14 episodes.
Yeah. See.
And the weird thing is like, so like, look at this.
So-
here, so like, start scrolling through though. Like this one is season 1, episode 2. That one is season 1, episode 19. Like this one is season 3,
it's
episode.
jumping. So wait, you would be so lost without the other episodes around it. I would assume the context is going to be
Right.
like really.
So your homework is also
sort of
like
shit.
yeah, like you're getting the essential episodes that probably will tell you everything, but you're not getting the context around
You're
it.
better off just Googling a guide or.
Okay, in this aspect, like you said, you've seen all of your knowledge of Rebels was the final scene of Rebels.
Right.
Your knowledge then of Sabine is moody person who wants Ezra back, who may or may not be involved with Ezra,
Who wants to be a Jedi?
but does not want to be at the ceremony
Right.
in episode 1.
In episode 1, yeah.
So she flees. She listens to punk rock emo music.
She's edgy.
Ahsoka, you acknowledge, because, like, once again, here's another thing with Star
Ahsoka
Wars.
doesn't have a character, as far as I'm concerned. In this, she is not a character. She is just a plot device at this point.
I think they try to go the route of...
She's like a force of nature, like Shigar.
Well, I think... if she started having the cattle gun...
I want to see Ahsoka walking around with the cattle gun. Like she, because I was gonna say like Shigar is awesome in that, but Shigar is not much of a character.
No,
he is just a force in that. He's
right,
like
and you acknowledge that for what it is.
Yeah.
Kind of like even the Emperor in the original trilogy is not a character.
Yeah.
Like even like you do see him in Episode 5, and he's just a hologram who just gives Vader instructions. Mm-hmm. And then you see him in Episode 6, and he's literally pure evil. Like
he's the
getting definition.
He's getting just the biggest kick in the world out of trying to corrupt Luke.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's all he cares.
Right.
He doesn't even care about that battle that's happening right behind him.
That's all right.
He's got admirals that handle that sort of thing.
Do you remember? Speaking of that, just like when they did that Star Wars Celebration, where they ended like the little teaser trailer for Rise of Skywalker with like the Emperor's laugh. And then like showed his face for like 1 second or something like that. Remember how like people like lost their mind?
Well, do you remember when people realized that it was actually an action figure? Do you remember that?
Well, I mean,
That Disney literally used the a close up, like super high def picture. It was an action figure of Palpatine's face, and that was the thing they used in the trailer. It wasn't even really Ian McDermott.
and like circumstances effects has repercussions.
X leads A leads to B leads to C leads to D. Yeah.
The Ahsoka and Mando and Book of Boba Fett wasn't even. Yes, A leads to B leads to C leads to D, but things happen because we want them like.
It doesn't need to be like subverted every time.
Well, it's not even but like take example Episode 1. The reason the plot even happens is Morgan gets released. Off screen, we're already told that she told Ahsoka where the map is.
Yeah, and apparently it was the right.
Right.
Why did she hemorrhage that information?
She literally told her everything. So whatever.
And Ahsoka's a good guy, so we can assume that there wasn't like crazy torture techniques being used, right?
She does say something to the droid like, "I didn't do Jedi things."
She didn't actually mindfuck her.
But like Morgan doesn't have any scars. So that if she did torture her, it was not bad.
Maybe she did the Kylo thing. Possibly. We didn't see it. Once again, we didn't see it. You remember when Kylo just pulls the information? No, not that.
Oh. Well, from girls.
I would cut the analingus in there if I could, but I don't.
I mean, can you just put your face doing that?
YouTube didn't like it when I had an extra second of the lightsaber fight happening in the background, so I doubt the analingus is gonna fly.
I am impressed that you were able to actually give it the correct name of analingus.
Well, that's what it is.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm just impressed.
Right. So, Ahsoka Episode 3 came and went. My life has not improved, but it also hasn't gotten worse. So.
There's no way anyone says, "Hey, we need to make Thrawn the ultimate endgame." So.
I mean, you know what? Bad guy, strategian, genius, alien monster is sort of a breath of fresh air than just evil Dark Lord Sith.
I would love to see the Yuuzhan Vaughn brought back, but I know that won't happen.
The what? Okay, that sounds like a long thing, so we'll cover that next week. It's still kind of Star Wars dribble. It's better than Mando Season 3.
I say it's on par with it.
I think it's better than Mando Season 3. So Mando Season 3, Obi-Wan, and Boba Fett are just so bad. I really can't say this is that bad yet.
Right.
We're only this thing could improve. This thing could definitely improve. So I really can't. I can't put it down there just yet.
At least with like Mando Season 3, we knew ultimately where Season 3 was going.
Yeah.
And it was just going like even by Episode 3, we knew it was not good because we knew where it was going, but it wasn't good. This, all we really know is it's leading to Thrawn, so there's at least open ground for it. But like, the characters don't drag. Like, I'm not drawn to anything.
So far, if we're par for the course for what the whole thing is, then it's going to be bad for the most part.
Right.
Because obviously they're not just going to all of a sudden have new writers for the next 5 episodes.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Ultimately, like the characters don't drive me. Like I'm not like saying to myself, I can't wait to see what Ahsoka does next.
Well, no, I mean, Ahsoka is the most boring part about this. She's just lightsaber lady who
like,
shows up and does a thing, and she doesn't have a character.
Sabine doesn't really entertain me either. Like
Sabine's trying to train, I guess.
she's
I don't know.
0 force power trying to become a Jedi, and it's like, cool.
That's okay.
I know the final scene with her is going to show her actually having force powers.
Yeah, we know where that's going.
And I
she's
think
gonna
that's
have
dumb.
She's gonna have some ability where she ends up getting that spider sense ability that Force users have, where she's not seeing but she reacts to it. That's definitely gonna pay off.
Or they're even like, it'll be one of these things where like she's pinned down, and like the enemy's like, you're defeated, like that like crazy bangs lady, Jedi, Sith person, whatever, and she has like the lightsaber like to Sabine's like throat, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, you've been defeated. There's nothing you can do. And like Sabine like uses the Force to call a lightsaber into her hand and like cuts her in half or something. And it's like, oh my God, she can use the Force. Like going back to Ahsoka, Hera doesn't really draw me. I don't really care either way about her. Like I don't like. She's okay.
Hera's a wet blanket, just like Ahsoka. Quite honestly.
The idea that she has to go up against bureaucracy to try and get political clout, or
she had that stupid scene in season 2 where she's like, "I'm a general, nothing's classified to me."
But it's also like that they're doing the bureaucracies holding down the army thing for like the 5 millionth time, and it's just not entertaining. Like, yeah, we get it. The New Republic's dumb. All right,
a lot of red tape. Oh, there was a lot of red tape in
Mando season 3.
Mando season 3, there was that weird thing. Once again, that walking where the guy got
from one planet,
went over to his X-wing, got into his X-wing, flies out, goes to Coruscant,
talks to Tim Meadows.
Walks out, talks to the intern about like how good the coffee's been, and then goes into the office. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I haven't heard about it. Well, he's a high VIP. Whatever happened to get it? Oh, apparently he never went to trial. Well, that's strange. Okay, I guess I'm going back, sir. All right. And it's like, and you're watching the screen, and 20 minutes have gone by. And it's like, what the fuck was that?
And then in real life, like in universe, that would be another like 3 hours. Or like 3 days, because like travel time and stuff.
Yeah, you have no idea. I mean, with light speed, you don't know. Maybe it's literally 2 minutes.
All right, whatever.
But at that point, it's like, because Carl Weathers is basically like, we're being attacked now. These pirates are destroying everything.
Right. That would
fucking send help, and they're like, okay, Jim, let me go get my coffee, and I'm gonna go
if you're being held, like if you're in your basement, and there's a guy outside your house, like shooting into your house, and I'm your neighbor, and I go all the way to California by car.
Yeah.
And then fly back by plane, though.
Better analogy is old Gendry running back to the wall, sending for the Raven, waiting for the Raven, going back for the thing, taking the dragon up to the north of the wall, landing, and it's like, it's been like fucking months at this point. They're dead.
Yeah.
But Ahsoka, okay, we have to end it. We have to end it.
All right.
We'll keep going on tangents.
Final thoughts and hopes on where it actually goes.
I have no. Well, hopes of where we go. Okay. You go first, because I'm still thinking.
I mean, obviously we have to get to Thrawn. I would like to get to him sooner than later, but I just don't think they do it because they know it's a multi-season show. I still think we get like Thrawn.
Well, maybe he comes back to
right. Fuck me in the goat ass.
Why
Thrawn,
not?
We get Thrawn in like the final episode, maybe the full episode, like maybe final scene of 7 is like they show Thrawn turn around on the bridge, and then all.
What if that's
episode,
all? What if that's the final shot?
I don't
we
think
just
they
get
would,
the we just
like
get
the
the
Luke shot from like TFA.
Yeah, and that's Thrawn. You're like, no.
I don't think they would go that route. I don't think they'll go that route just because they have the like it's.
If Thrawn is going to be the big bad of like this big multi-arc thing, then he has to do something despicable.
Right. That's
like,
what, like,
initially.
That's why I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and give him the entire 8th episode.
That's what my question is. Like, what do you think that he's going to do? It's going to be despicable.
The range is there. They can do stuff, but the problem is the galaxy doesn't care afterwards.
Right.
So it has to be on a personal level.
And the characters aren't personal enough to.
Maybe he kills Sabine. Because Sabine's not in anything else.
Oh, so she's not.
She's not in like the sequel trilogy.
You know what would be? So I'm gonna. I think this would be a neat. I don't think they'll do it. What if they like in Sabine's like final moments, she actually starts to learn how to do the Force, but Thrawn does something to like just kill her immediately before she really firmly grasps it.
And
How tragic would that be?
that would actually be kind of cool.
If she's like strapped down somewhere, and she, like you said, she's about to grab like the weapon that saves her, and you see it start to move.
Yeah.
And it's about to come to her, and then Thrawn just says enough of this and just like cuts her throat or kills her. They won't do
Literally,
something that-
they're gonna like he bisects her, and her organs are
It's so
splayed out.
gory and violent.
It's the like,
But that would be sort of a neat payoff,
Right.
to the whole like she wants to be like that would be tragic.
and like the only person who actually sees it maybe is Ahsoka.
Like, oh my God, she
did have
was
it.
about to do it.
She had the power.
Man.
Or maybe even she does do something that with the Force as a sacrifice.
At the very last minute.
Like she the bomb's about to blow up like a ship,
and she pushes it somewhere
or
brings
pulls it to
her or
herself.
something, or,
Yeah. That would actually work. Like
So something like that would work for her end if that's gonna be the big sacrificial
And that would
but it has to be
also-
caused by Thrawn.
Right,
Not,
right.
you know.
Like Thrawn somehow is about to kill, like, say, Hera, Ahsoka, everyone. Or maybe even, like, start off, like, a big war, and Sabine, like stops it using the Force, but kills herself in the process. That'd be actually, I would be very on board with that. Like, that'd be actually really cool.
Yeah.
Will they do it? I doubt it.
No, because that would be good, I think.
Right. I feel so cynical and negative.
Maybe we'll eat crow, and we will eat crow if something really good happens, right?
God, will you get a dead crow in here and we can eat it?
No, 'cause I was gonna say in
Crow gross it.
Ahsoka, episode 3, season 1.
The deep sigh there. Can you please edit that deep sigh into like every 5 seconds? Whenever I'm talking, just edit it in. You just going. You sound like my dad, who was always so disappointed in me with all my life choices.
Yeah. Once again, I don't know where this plot's going, but it'll. Yeah.
It'll get there.
I would like it to get to some places, but I don't know. So we will see you next week. Although it'll take some time. So
Look for this June 14th, 2024.
look
folks.
to this on the first light of the fourth moon.
As the dawning of the light.
We will be back with more Star Wars. Maybe someday we'll watch like just A New Hope and talk about that.
Do like a commentary track for that?
Would it be nice to just talk about a fun movie? You're really good. Something really good.
I would like fun movies.
We'll do all 3.
Really? Can we do the prequels then too?
Yeah, I've got a lot. I can talk for days on all the Star Wars, the good stuff and the bad stuff. As weird as it is, Star Wars is an easy thing to talk about, whether it's good or bad.
Right? Yeah.
It's, like, there's a lot of stuff to praise and there's a lot of stuff to depraise. Is depraise a thing? I don't know. Depraise? Depraised?
Depraved.
Depraved is a
Depraved is a
it's
thing.
not really depraved though.
You can get depraving.
Well, we'll see you next time, folks.